Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to continue working my way through the May 2026 Resin Mold Box collection, Sunbeams and Heartstrings. This is part 2 of this series and I'll link part 1 in the description box. I was delighted with my first 2 creations, a beautiful mousse trinket dish which had a unique porcelain look and feel, and an earring organiser that is just so versatile, well designed and useful. Let's get started. Time to work on the pineapple jar and lid. And, oops, that way. And I've decided that whilst it's very tempting to do yellow and green, I really want to see if I can do this in a glass-like finish. So I'm going to use a deep pour resin because I want to have the best chance possible of releasing any bubbles, and I'm just going to mix that up, pour it, and hope that it comes out crystal clear. So the resin I'm going to use today is this River Art Resin Deep Pour. It's a 2-to-1 and I've had wonderful success with this. I'm just going to pop some gloves on. Milo's just come into the crafting area and he's doing lots of tippy-tapping and snorting. I promise it's not me, it's the dog. You heard that one before? Okay, we'll get some nitrile gloves on and I'm working in a well-ventilated space. And let's have a look. We need 320 mils for this, and perfect. So for 320 mils, I'm going to do, let's see, 220 of the deep pour. Actually, I might do 230. Boy, that happens. Right, we'll round it up to, look, I'm going to round it up to 270. And not a smidgen more. My goodness. I think my mind wandered off while I was pouring that. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So 2, and that means we need 135 of part B, which is this one here. And if you wanted to pause, these are all of the details for this product. So we're going to tear that back and we'll go to 135. We'll try, who knows what I'll end up on, 2 mils over. That's not too bad. Okay. The spray I use is this Saba Organic Window and Glass Cleaner with Tasmanian lavender. I love the smell and it's a really nice gentle cleaner. Now I've got my poor old Estoyo mixer here. I say poor old because it's been through the battles, but it does save my hands a lot. Put that in, turn it on, and just check that that's, yep, on the bottom. And I'm going to just stir that for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to let it sit for another 5 minutes because I want to give it the best chance possible of removing any bubbles and getting that nice finish to it. I'm hoping this is round. Yeah, now I'm looking at it, I don't know. I'll just have to hope. And I'll work out with that amount of resin. Let's have a look. So I'm going to end up with, I've probably got enough to do that one. I'll go and have a look at this, and when I come back I'll have a little plan of what else we can do. Okay, I've come up with a plan and I'm going to make the little heart trinket dish. So this is the mould. I'm just going to put the pineapple pieces upside down so I don't get anything in them. So it has a lid and the container part, and I noticed that this ribbon, okay, so you've got a bow with a heart, ribbon, bow, and then that goes down the side, so it's meant to look like a present, I guess. So I haven't really done this before and I'm very nervous about it, but we'll give it a try. So I'm going to tip it inside out, tip it, pull it, push it, something it, okay, and then I can see my stripe, which is there, and I'm going to try and do a very neat job of colouring that, and just wondering what sort of colours. So this is called Galaxy, and I just think that's beautiful. I could do Galaxy and Plum, or what could we do? I've got out those two. Might not be enough contrast, but could always go lighter. These are more of, I think, a Mermaid Aurora powder. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, why don't we do that? Those two. Okay, so pop all that in there. Our resin is pretty much done. Just going to give it a stir around like that, and then I'll get a little cup to pop that into. Turn that off and pop that in there. Okay, so I'm just going around the edges and making sure I scrape the bottom as well. I do have a vacuum chamber, but I prefer not to use it because I know many people wouldn't have one, and it just sometimes feels like cheating. It shouldn't, I know, but if I can get it bubble free on my own, I'd be very happy. Okay, so I'll set that one to the side over there. Alright, now just going to pop a piece of paper towel over there and some paper towel over there and under here, minimising the danger zone. Alright, okay, so we're going to go with the darker of the two colours for the ribbon. I might leave my gloves on and then I can swap them. Okay, and so this strip here and here is our ribbon, and the static in the mould is already grabbing this, trying to be neat, because the neater I am, the less cleanup I have. Okay, that's one side done. Okay, time now to swap brushes, and we're going to use this pale pink, and I'm just going to splosh this everywhere. I don't have to be anywhere near as careful with this one. Okay, that one's done, so now I can swap over to the lid. Okay, I just realised I stopped talking. I think I'm nervous. So I have decanted some of this into smaller containers just so I can give it a squirt with isopropyl alcohol. I forgot to spray the mould itself, so I've just done that now. I hope it wasn't too late. And I'm just experimenting by putting in very little at a time, and I'm hoping it's a similar principle to when you're pouring silicone, that if you're pouring from a height it can knock any bubbles out. So I don't know whether it'll work or not. The thing is that if this was a straight-sided mould, I'd feel a lot more confident, but because it curves upwards, not so much, because there's lots of places that bubbles could get trapped. Oh dear, every now and then I just see those teeny tiny little particles which, oh, where are they coming from? Just the air. Second guessing myself now. Maybe I should have put some sort of a sparkle in it, or okay. So just gonna sort of gently squidge this around and try and get it into all of those little facets. And we'll top this one back up. A little squirt. Pop that over here. A little squirt. Don't think I've ever used so much alcohol in my life. Alright, I might let that one sit for a moment while we start on this one. So definitely want to give this one a squirt and try and get that alcohol in there covering all of the surfaces. Okay. Hoping that the method I'm using will reduce any bubble build-up. That was silly. Okay. So we've got the base here. I just want to give that a little squeeze everywhere to make sure that all the little nooks and crannies are reached. And I'm going to just go around like that. Put a little bit more in. Okay. Now before we get too much higher, I'm just going to pop a little tool around the edge. Try and make sure that I've got in under that lip. right, all cleaned up, and now I think I don't have enough for that one, so I'm going to switch to doing the outer rim of this one. Actually, it's all an outer rim, isn't it? Yes, so I'm just going to do totally clear, and then when this has reached a gel state and I'm ready to do the next layer, I'll do that one then. Okay, I'll let that level out, and I've got a teeny tiny little bit left. So I might try and do a little clear cap, pour a little bit in, and then I'll give it a little squish to get into all the finer sort of details. Top it up. Just going to let gravity do its job here. Okay, perfect. Just check these two. It's hard to know what level we're aiming for. Oh, I'm just wondering if this one could have just 1 or 2 drips more. I hope this is not something I regret, but I know that resin does shrink. Certainly not domed, it's right sitting on the top. Okay, I'll duck down and have another look, and I think we are good. So I'll clean up the mixer, and I'll keep an eye on these for the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes, and then when this is at a gel state, I'll be back for us to pour in the next layer. So I've mixed up, I think, 100 grams of the same River Art Deep Pour Resin, beautiful crystal clear, and as I mentioned, I'm going to try using this as the colorant. So if it goes everywhere, I'm just thinking it doesn't really matter, because let's have a look. It's so pretty. Wow. Okay, so it's quite translucent. Do I want it to be translucent? Probably not, because if you're keeping things inside of there, you sort of don't want them to be visible, do you? So I'll just go and choose a pigment powder that I think will complement this. And I've chosen this Sweet Pea Pink from the Solid Solutions Pearl Pigments range. It's just the most gorgeous colour. So what I'll do is I'll get a little cup and mix the pigment in with some alcohol ink in there, and then we'll grab this. Hopefully this will give it a little bit more opacity, but still have that pretty shade. I might have gone way overboard there, but anyway, my nan used to say, in for a penny, in for a pound. All right, I'll add that in. Hold just a little bit of it back in case it is too dark. Gosh, that's gorgeous. Okay, I think it could still take a bit more. You can always add more in, but it's very difficult to deal with a situation when you've put too much in to start off with. Okay, I can still see the stick through that, but I might just make up a quick little bit more, because I'm probably losing quite a bit by transferring it this way. Okay, so there's a lot left in there, but hopefully it will be perfect. So stir, make sure I get all around the edges. So I need to put the lid back on that and give just a gentle little squirt, keeping in mind that I do have the chrome or mermaid powders throughout. And I'm going to do the lid first. Try and make sure I get all of those little details done. Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. This is just so mesmerising to watch this go in. It's beautiful. I'm sorry about Tess. She's upset at the world or something. Her brother. Look at that. Okay, I'll just give that a moment to settle. Go back to this one. Okay, don't want to overfill it because it does need to sit neatly in here. Oh, I love those patterns. I wish they'd stay, but they won't. And now, I don't know if we're going to have enough left. I don't think we are. Yeah, wow, we don't. So, what I'll do, I won't use that one. Just one. I'm tempted to take a little bit out of here. How tempted? Very. Take a teeny little bit out of the lid. Just going into the deepest part. Okay, perfect. And do exactly the same here. So those gorgeous swirls have already just moved and changed a little bit. as well I overfilled that one a little bit. Okay, clean that one off in a moment. And now let's just see what we can get out of the cup. Not much, I don't think, but we don't need much. Oops, scrape that little bit in a moment. Goodness me, I'm very annoyed with myself for that. Just when I'm in need of more resin, I go dripping it everywhere. And because this is going to I don't really need to worry about where I put it in. That is so pretty. Last little bit, and I think we will be good to go. Perfect. Spritz for that one, and just when I first saw this mould, I didn't realise it was a hollow sort of a mould. I think it is. I hope it is, because I'm not pouring up over the top of anything for a back. So it is now. One way or the other, it is now. Okay, brilliant. Well, 24 hours, we'll be able to demould everything. See if our clear pineapple has turned out, a little clear pussycat, how the actual chrome and different powders went, and how this one turned out. While these were curing, it was the perfect time to have a quick break. And just a few minutes from my house is this amazing park. The walking track over to it follows along the creek where I've seen platypus before. And my friends have a little cafe just in that building there, and it's nice to visit them too. So great to get some fresh air out and about. Time to demould. So let's have a look. First up is our mama shape. Gosh, it's clinging on. I think that's because it's got a really sort of a corrugated feel to the inside. There we go. I really am loving that effect of having the clear on top. I'm not sure if it's coming through the camera. Gosh, very happy with that. Okay, our little dish, our little heart-shaped dish. That's pretty. Let's have a look at this part. Can't even, yes I can. Boy, that is so sharp. I need to give that a little file. It's amazing how sharp resin can be. Okay, boy, wedged in there. Perfect. That's so sweet. I've got a little bit that came off there. Let's see if the lid fits. Oops. Perfect. Look at that. Is such a lovely little trinket dish. Just pop my mould back in the right way and then pop it in the sink for washing. Okay, our little, oops, that was funny, look. So left a little suction mark. Little pussycat just out of the clear. Well, that's it. It's a matte mould, but it's sort of come out looking frosted. And now our pineapple. Ooh, let's have a look. I'll just see if I can peel that back. This one's sharp around the top as well. Okay, I might need to get some help for this one. Getting this out. Woo! That was funny, little plop. My goodness, I cannot believe I've made that. I don't really care about the top. I've just made what looks like a crystal bowl. That is so smooth and beautiful. And the clear, oh my goodness, I'm so happy about that. Turn this one back in. Wow. I don't think I've ever made anything that looks so much like cut glass. That's ridiculous, and it feels really nice weight as well. I'll go around and just gently smooth off the bottom there. All right, let's have a look at the top. I am not expecting this to be amazing, and if that's all I get out of this, I'm thrilled. That's just so adorable. Okay, now oh, that's really gorgeous. My goodness. That, what? Now I'm really nervous. With good reason. Let me see why it isn't fitting. It is. Maybe it's Just, wow. I really wish this wasn't solid, because see how this is completely see-through? It would be lovely if that had been too, but I think that's incredible. I can't believe I made that. Wow, my goodness. So what I'll do is I'll just very gently sand around there, and then that lid will go on easily, and then we have a really pretty oh, that's so gorgeous, unbelievable. I am so happy with that. Look how beautifully all the facets are catching the light. Wow, very happy crafter. I was so ridiculously excited with what I'd made that I raced outside just so I could see what it looked like in the sun, and boy, it did not fail to impress. So really happy with this. A beautiful mold. I asked AI to come up with a background for just the little bowl part, and I think this would just be so gorgeous on a dressing table or a vanity. You could use it for rings, things like that. I did the same with all the other pieces, and here is the stunning pineapple jar with the lid, and it is just so pretty. I'm very happy with this one. And here is our little mama ornament, and that gorgeous little trinket dish, the heart and bow trinket dish. And lastly, just our little extra, our beautiful crystal clear pussycat. So I am enjoying this box very much. You've probably guessed that. And we've got several more molds still to go. I'm very excited to be able to share that with you in my next video. If you are interested in any of these molds on their own, I have put a link in the description box to each single one. You can always buy them direct from Resin Mold Box, just one of, or at the time of publishing this video, I checked and there were a couple of this kit left. So if you would like to get your own Sunbeams and Heartstrings collection with all of these molds and all of those beautiful little extras included, hop onto their website and use my code BlossyB for a discount. All the information will be below. Thank you for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye for now.